Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I am talking about this week in X-Men, and I'll tell you, this was a better week than last week, in my opinion. Having some hard times with some of these Dawn of X books. I know I've talked about it a lot. I absolutely loved House and Powers. I thought that those are just two of the best short series that came out last year. The best, in fact. And, some of these Dawn of X books have kind of been letting me down since then. I'll tell you this. I think for a short series, it's going to be 4 issues. Empyre X-Men has been fantastic so far. Number 1 was incredible. Number 2 came out this week, and it was good. It was good. I enjoyed it. Different writers, a little bit. And so, here, I'll tell you about what happened number 1. Because I didn't do a review on it, kind of a flashback. Scarlet Witch, she kind of wants to make up for all the stupid stuff that she's done. She lost a bunch of mutants their powers, and I mean she's messed up a bunch of stuff. So she goes to Genosha, and she's like, I'm gonna raise all these, all of these from the dead, all of these mutants. And she brings them back as zombies. With magic always comes as a price. And that, I guess, that was the price, not knowing what you're doing. I just think whenever you do shit like that, you never know what's going to happen, right? So the Kotati land there, and they're the plant aliens, enemies of everyone in space, and so this fun white page at the very end of it, it literally made me laugh out loud when I saw it last week or a couple weeks ago, and it was like alien plants versus zombies, mutant zombies versus old ladies, because at the very end of this, the horticulture comes back, right? And so I just thought that was so funny because it's almost like Hickman's making fun of himself or his own writing in a way. It's like a self-satire kind of page. I thought that was funny. There was lots of action in number 1. There was tons of action in number 2. Literally action-packed. So 3 writers. Thought that was interesting. Ben Percy's one of my favorite writers. Leah Williams and Gary Duggan are on this too. All the art was done by Lucas Wernick and colors by Nolan Woodard. And so, very beginning of the book. I say very beginning, pretty much the very start of the book. Horticulture, these old ladies that are like botanists or evil old lady botanists or whatever. They use this pheromone spray, and they pretty much make Archangel and Multiple Man just useless. Through the whole book. And the star of this book literally becomes magic. I mean, she just kicks ass through this whole thing. If you're a fan of magic, this is the book for you. I'm telling you. And I'll tell you this. Here's what turned me off to this week's installment. Everything felt like it was setting up another joke. You know what I mean? And hey, look, I know that jokes are part of comics. I know that it's a pivotal part of storytelling, specifically in our day and age. It just feels like modern comics have a lot of jokes in them. This was a little bit more than I am used to. You probably know me, the way that I talk about stuff. X-Force is my favorite Dawn of X book because it was so freaking serious. You know what I mean? And it's dark. It deals with the dark parts of human nature. This book didn't feel so serious, but I will tell you, it was still better than X Factor last week. It was still better than X-Men number 10 last week. All of them. It was good. It was a solid book. I will say that. If you want a bunch of action, and you don't want to pick up some of these Dawn of X books, this short series, Empyre X-Men, 1 through 4, so far it's been good, all up to 2. And I think it's it's kind of worth your time. I thought the funniest part here, I say funny, the part that grabbed my attention, and I don't mean funny like haha, but funny, interesting. Black Tom Cassidy becomes a little tiny dust person on Archangel's shoulder, and I thought that was weird and ironic, because instead of it being an angel on someone's shoulder, it was Black Tom Cassidy on Archangel's shoulder. That's ridiculous for me. I think that's funny. Very end of it, they realize we need to call in for backup, so they're bringing all the psychics to the island. So, to Genosha, from Krakoa. because they get the gate working at the end of number one. Telling you, this is a more solid book than some of the main titles of Dawn of X. So it's a recommend, not a high recommend. It's like right in the middle. I say 5 out of 10, and that's pretty good for my recommendations right now. I feel like the bar's kind of low. So the second one, I'd say it was a 4 out of 10. It's still a recommend. I know that sounds horrible for me to say that that's a recommend. I enjoyed it. And this, of course, is Giant Size X-Men Fantomex. Gosh, I have so many questions about Fantomex. I don't know why I was under the opinion, or the false opinion, that Xavier was still inhabiting the body of Fantomex. Of course, that can't be true, right? Because, clearly, because this is a book, because this exists. I'll tell you what I did like about this. Hickman really revisited Morrison's run. Even some of the same dialogue he put in there, some of the same things happening. So Rod Reiss is the one that's doing the art for this, and he had a part in the story. Of course, Jonathan Hickman's writing it. Rod Reiss is the one that is doing what? New Mutants? I tell you, I didn't really connect with that book. I know that a lot of it's important. A lot of what happens in that book is kind of important to the main continuity of Dawn of X, but I just haven't been reading it. I should have. I should have stayed up with it. I might just go back and try to force my way through it. Anyway, there are a few things about this book that kind of bothered me, and a few things that I really liked. I think the biggest thing that kind of turned me off to it was that it was almost like a day repeating kind of thing, like a Groundhog Day, only not the same day. It was like this whole entire book was just about Fantomex going back into the world. So the world's where he grew up. It's kind of like a false universe where kind of anything that can happen. You could think of it as like the Matrix, but I know that's a really diluted way to look at it. But it's where he grew up, right? A little bit of some retcons happening here. Fantomex didn't think that he was as old as he is. Apparently, he's been alive since like early 1900 or whatever. He brings the Howling Commandos into the world, sacrifices them. He goes back every 10 years or so, back into the world with these teams that just keep dying off or whatever. He's like, he didn't care. He just needs them to distract these demons at the gate so he can get in and talk to his twin clone brother, Weapon X-13, right? So like Wolverine is Weapon X-10, Weapon X-10, Weapon 10. He's Weapon 13, and apparently, his brother still lives in the world. I say brother, his clone twin or whatever, still lives there, and so he's going in to try to talk with him, and he goes over there over and over. Nothing really happens about that, it's just him trying to talk to his twin, and he does over and over, and like I said, nothing comes of it, it was weird, at the very end of this, you find out that there's a tie-in to the first giant-sized X-Men, which was, pretty cool in my opinion, because there was like very little dialogue. It was the Jean Grey, Emma Frost book, and when they found out Storm's been infected by the Children of the Vault, and you find out that it's basically setting up the fifth issue of Giant-Sized X-Men, which is going to be about Storm. And we find out, again, everything that happens in this whole book was just kind of like, oh, okay. But at the very end, you find out the story starts, and you're like, okay. And the whole story was Storm has to go into the world to find a cure, to figure it out, Again, I'll say almost a lackluster week for Dawn of X. I still enjoyed these books. They were better than last week's. I don't know. I'm excited for X-Force. It comes out next week, the week after. I don't know. So I think I'm gonna do this once a week, maybe. I'll just talk about all the X-Men books that I read, kind of slap them together like this, giving you my opinion of them. I'm not gonna go through and do like a story recounting. If you've read these books, then you can kind of hear my opinion about them. But if you don't want to read these books, if you want to hear an opinion first before you put money into them, that's what I would suggest, because I will say Dawn of X is hit or miss right now. Dude, I love Hickman. I love his stuff. I love his indie stuff. absolutely love it. Like I said, I'm reading Nightly News I read. Dude, that was freaking awesome. And there's a lot of reasons why I liked it so much. Manhattan Project's is fantastic. I can't wait to dive in. I'm reading, going to be reading Transhuman. Like I said, I like his stuff. But some of these books are falling flat. I'd love to hear what you have to say. Am I right or wrong about this? What do you think about these two books? Do you think that Empyre X-Men #2 is just as cool as I do? And I think it's cool. Maybe it's a 6 out of 10. I don't know. I do like it for the story. I think it pushes forward, and there's no like deep pauses in it. You know, like this Giant Size X-Men this week. It was like not much happened. You find out that it's setting something up at the very end, and then that's that. You know, but if you're looking for some high action, just people fighting, killing plants and zombies, Magic being the baddest ass character out of all these mutants, if you're into that, man, I would say Empyre is really for you. I'm not reading the main storyline. I do want to ask is if anyone's reading main Empyre, is it worth it? Some of my friends are saying no, it really isn't. Don't waste your time. And so I probably won't. I don't have much time. I am going to invest in. I think I've decided. I'm definitely going to go all in for Ten of Swords event. So, like I said, what do you think? Am I wrong? Tell me I'm an idiot, or tell me you agree. Tell me what you think. I'd love to hear it. Support your local comic shop. You are the gateway into comics.